welcome to Movie Couple Live. This is a show where we talk about the latest in pop culture and movies. I'm Wendy.
I'm Dustin.
And happy Wednesday, you guys. So excited to hang out with all of you today. And of course, thank you, as always, for giving us your time on this lovely hump day. Happy hump day, everybody. So we have a lot to talk about today on the live stream. We'll be talking about new trailers. So many trailers lately for Cruella, for Ghostbusters, Afterlife, and for Jupiter's Legacy.
We're also going to be talking about Dark Crystal Ballet.
Sure, we'll see puppets do some gratuities. And of course, Sony's first theme park. Everybody, you get a theme park. You get a
Everyone's
theme park.
getting a theme park.
And so much more on today's show. Welcome, you guys. Hope you're having a great day today. First and foremost, before we dive into any of the topics and discussions, want to let you know what's kind of up on our channel, what's coming, what's here, anything we're up to. So you guys, we have two new trailer reactions that are up since we're talking about trailers today. So we put up the trailer reaction for the latest on Ghostbusters Afterlife, and then the new trailer number 2 for Cruella, and then I'm working on a Jupiter's Legacy, and that'll have to come out after this because I didn't have enough time to finish editing before today's live stream.
Morning.
Yeah, it's been a busy morning, but we're excited for you guys to see that one as well. And then just a little more plugging. There's a new episode of the Geek and Glitter podcast where me and my co-host Nikita talk about some of the nerdy stuff that you may have heard here, but some of the other stuff too for like geek fashion, makeup, lifestyle. All the things that I love that we talk about, and you can find that on basically anywhere you download podcast. It's on Spotify, it's on Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, basically anywhere. You just search Geek and Glitter and it should pop up. And then last piece of announcement, if you guys are into D&D or TTRPG and you've expressed interest in watching me and Dustin play, I am involved in the new season of Bedlam and Discord, and that is a D&D 5e campaign. And we had our first session last Wednesday, and it's going to be ongoing for the next few Wednesday, for the next few Wednesdays. So I actually linked it in the video description. It's on Twitch, so you can go ahead and check that out. We're going to go live at 6 p.m. PT, so come and watch me roll dice, hopefully tons of nat 20s and no nat 1s.
See Wendy as the tank.
Yeah, as the tank.
Her little dwarven barbarian.
My dwarven barbarian who loves glitter and appropriately named Glita.
I am so excited to see that. I mean, just to keep in theme with today's incredibly busy day, right after this, Wendy's going to be jumping into that. And I just want to see the continuation of this story because you have such a vibrant group of characters on that show.
I love our cast. We have a Loxodon, we have a tiefling, what's her name? An artificer.
Mm-hmm.
We have a halfling, a sorcerer. We have a human fighter. It's very like Firefly too.
You've got a pretty
like
good
Firefly,
mix of groups in there.
Our group's pretty cool. So if you guys want to watch us roll dice and role play, it's wacky. We're a lot more chaotic than I actually expected as we started to role play, because we didn't actually. So for anybody, because I'm seeing Soccer TL saying I haven't played D&D for over 25 years, but I still like the game. So if you play D&D, like you kind of get it. Usually, sometimes even for home games, before you dive into it, you'll do like a session 0. Our first session is essentially the session 0. We had never met in the past in real life or online until we got cast in the series. So
it's really fun to see them kind of develop their characters and
like,
also develop their relationships
and
right
also
off
playing
the cuff.
Styles, because you have to be, I feel like D&D has a lot of yes and.
Yeah,
you can't sit here and like kind of like improv. What did Travis Willingham say on one of your critter? I think he activated Siri by accident. And she was like, no. And he's like, what do you mean? No. Yes. And bitch. And I thought that was funny. So anyways, we have if you guys want to check that out, everything's linked in the video description. We have a couple of super chats flying in. Thank you guys so much in the movie bunch that are always so supportive of this channel. We appreciate you so much.
Thank you for all of your love and support, guys.
Yeah.
We wouldn't be able to do this without you.
Finger hearts for everybody.
Big hand hearts. I always feel like my hearts, when I do this, end up looking kind of smushed. Kind of like a Peeps version of a heart. You know, you can't get a box of Peeps without some of them being like flattened and squished. So it kind of looks like
I feel like the peep I got on Easter had like one eye looking this way and then one eye looking this
Kind of
way.
like when you see a kid's drawing of like a chicken, how it has like one eye up here and one eye up there because the kids have to put two eyes in.
And I learned first time ever about how you can make peeps joust. I didn't know that, but apparently that's a thing kids do. You can put a little toothpick
and put them in the microwave.
And put them in the microwave and then microwave them. And then as they go meow, and they look like they're jousting. We didn't do it. But I guess if we want to see if we can score some leftover peeps at the 75% off rack at the grocery
pretty
store.
much on discount by now.
Yeah, for sure. But we're going to go ahead and get to our super chats. First one is from the one and only Chris's Choice. Woo! Chris, thank you so much.
You, Chris.
I'm going to go ahead and put this up here. Chris writes, oh, and I forgot to put up the banner for today. But you know what? It always happens. And this is why we... That's what happens when we do things live. All right, Chris's choice for today. Who, and you guys, please answer this, whether it's in the chat, if you're watching us live, if you're watching us on the rebroadcast, put your answer to Chris's choice in the comment section because we love reading about it. So Chris writes, who would win in a magical battle? Dumbledore or Doctor Strange? Oh.
I think that's kind of tough
Sorcerer Supreme?
I honestly, my first instinct is to lean a little bit more towards Doctor Strange.
Yeah,
because
interesting.
He doesn't need a wand, technically. He can just use his hands and he knows.
But what happens if you take away his hands then?
Well, same thing with Dumbledore. If you take away Dumbledore's hands, he can't use his wand.
They can't just do like a verbal incantation and have neither can the Sorcerer Supreme?
I think Doctor Strange needs to use his hands in order to cast spells. So take away either one of their hands and they're not able to do magic. But I think, you disarm Dumbledore and he's helpless. As we saw in, I think that was the Half-Blood Prince, where he gets disarmed by Malfoy. But,
interesting.
Doctor Strange would still be able to use his magic. But also, the reason why I think it's an interesting comparison, because the most that we've seen Dumbledore is in the Harry Potter movies, unless you've also read the books. But the thing is, though, that's not Dumbledore in his prime. That's Dumbledore in his old age. The only time that we've actually been able to see Dumbledore in his prime is when he's been in the second Fantastic Beasts movie. And I'm sorry to say, I haven't actually watched that movie all the way through. I've seen clips and I've seen bits and pieces of it. So to be able to compare both Doctor Strange
probably just watch it.
Yeah, I just kind of grunge through. I've just heard so many horrible things.
It's just like, I don't know, it's the reception of it isn't as it's not as well received as I imagined it would be, because it's set in, the whole magical world of Harry Potter, but
I think even with that, without seeing that, I think I would lean towards Doctor Strange a little bit more because his powers seem to be more magnified. He's able to do a lot more things, and so I'd lean more towards Doctor Strange than Dumbledore.
It looks like the chat is also leaning towards Doctor Strange. We've got Jim, Noah, Soccer TL, Jack saying Doctor Strange, but I also like a couple of the wild cards that you guys have put in here. I see a Scarlet Witch. I see Gandalf beats them all. I mean,
no,
Gandalf is pretty powerful. If we had like a whole wizard showdown, like if we put all the sorcerers and wizards and witches in there, like who would come out on top? We could do like maybe like too bad March has passed, but we could do like a March Madness of like magical.
Oh, that would be kind of cool to do like a March Madness for wizards. Okay, so that means you'd have to have Harry Potter in there. Most of them would be coming from the Harry Potter universe. Because Marvel and DC, you could have Dr. Fate, because he's definitely magic.
Zantana.
You could Shazam. Shazam is magic.
Shazam.
So that's actually I think that would be fun. In either one Halloween or one March, we could have like a March Madness of wizards kind of a thing. And just have people vote on who they think would win in each mashup. And you can have a certain number of characters from each genre, kind of a thing. Like you get 5 characters from Harry Potter.
It'd be a fun thing to do on Instagram, because you can do quizzes. So maybe we'll think about doing something like that. That might be fun.
But definitely, Chris, that is just a fun question also to just kind of talk about too.
Yeah, for sure.
Because I love those creative juices that you're just kind of like, oh, what would happen in this and that kind of a thing. So
thanks, Chris.
Thank you so much, Chris.
I love Chris's choice. It's so much fun because it always makes your brain think, and you're just like, I never thought about this before. And then usually when it's a really hard question, you feel bad about saying your answer out loud because you feel guilty for not saying the other answer. You know,
Mm-hmm.
it's
And then
always
when
great.
and someone comes up with another one, you're like, oh, that's even better.
Exactly.
But yeah, like for example, Batos, I cannot pronounce your last name. I do apologize. Mate,
I don't know where it is.
Matai.
I don't know where it is.
But
Go ahead and read it.
Loki. Loki would be fun in this March Madness of wizardry.
Yes. Oh yeah, that
So-
would be fun because he's like, you know,
We'll
what
get
is it, like the god of mischief?
the god of mischief. So,
So, yeah,
and then
that
you
would
could
be
also
fun.
have Thor because Thor is magical.
But it's more fun to pick Loki.
Yeah.
Apologies if you guys hear a lot of background noise. We've got just constructions and yard work, and the trash trucks are coming by today to pick up stuff. So there's a lot going on next to the apartment today.
Mm-hmm.
We also have another super chat from Marvin Martin. Marvin, thank you so much for always supporting us as well. Marvin writes, if you could create your own original fantasy creature, kaiju, and improvements on movie trailers and etc. Okay, if you could create your own original fantasy character.
So, okay, so fantasy creature. No, yeah, creature. So like a kaiju.
Kaiju, and improvement on movie trailers. Improvement. It's like two separate questions, I feel
Yeah. Honestly, I would have loved for them to let's first kind of take like the improvement question on movies / movie trailers.
Don't show off all your funny bits in the trailer.
No, oh yeah,
like the cake joke in Jumanji 1. I was so mad. That's such a fun moment.
I have to admit that section from that movie made me want to go see that movie even more. Kind of thing.
True.
So
Good point.
I do have those examples of like, I wish I would have seen that in the movie, but would I have seen the movie if I did not see that clip? Kind of a thing.
I guess that's true. And I'm sure, I feel like they don't just make the trailer and show it to like a group of people at the studio and they're like, yeah, okay. I feel like they definitely, there's a specific test group.
Yeah.
You know, with lots of NDAs attached to it, where they're like, does this work? Did this, like a questionnaire, you know, do you want to see this movie after this? And they showed them a different one. Does this make you want to see the movie more or less, or you're indifferent? So there must be some sort of test group at play for them to say, okay, this is why we want to put this in.
So if we're making our own fantasy creatures, this is
that's
really huge up into interpretation, because what's also like to make our own original, because we've known so much about not just like fantasy creatures, say like from Harry Potter, but also kaijus like Godzilla, King Kong, Pacific Rim. Also, like say for example, if we just take like so many different kinds of creatures from like D&D, because it's really hard to create something that is 100% original. I would have loved to have seen, like say in Godzilla versus King Kong.
Yeah.
If some of the tweaks that they would have made is maybe because they gave a lot of personality to King Kong, and I think they did a great job on that. I think kind of giving a little bit more character development, if you can do that for a kaiju monster, for Godzilla, and making the bad guy in, because I don't want to spoil it too much just in case people haven't seen Godzilla versus, but the whole theme of the bad guy, trying to make it a little bit more of a sympathetic character. And I think it would have been cool if they brought in like the aliens that were so prominent in the original Godzilla cartoons. I mean, not cartoons, Godzilla movies, about the aliens wanted to come down and capture Godzilla, kind of a thing. I think those would have been cool little tweaks just to make to the characters of King Kong versus Godzilla, and the story arc of that movie.
Yeah, for sure. So wait, did you answer the question? I'm sorry.
I don't know.
Did you answer the question about creating your own original fantasy character? Because you talked about the villain, but
I like things what they can do for kind of like making something that looks like a monster, and people just, oh look, big scary monster. But once you actually know the character, once you learn about the character, you find out that we share a lot of similar qualities, kind of with creatures.
So you're talking about more of like the persona of like said character.
Yeah.
Okay. My own fantasy character kaiju. What kind of kaiju would I want?
I mean, are you going to go for something more like Pacific Rim kind of kaiju?
Yeah.
because they had so many different kinds.
I feel like for me, it would be something that comes from the sea. And why the reason why is I think there's so much. I mean, you can say the same thing about space. There's a lot of things that we haven't explored about space, but there's also a lot about like the deep sea, that we haven't explored. So a kaiju like we've seen, I think there's been a lot like Godzilla, Mothra, Monster Zero, and things like that. But I kind of want, I don't know, something like a kraken. So I
Yeah.
mean that's not super original. Kind of like you said, like it's not really super easy to come up with like an original character because I think there's so much that's been done. But I would love to see a Kraken type of a deal, especially to see how Godzilla would go up against something like that. That's just equally fast in the water. That because that's always in the movie. I feel like that kind of gave Godzilla some like some what's the
An
word,
advantage.
an advantage. Thank you. I'm like, my brain's not working today, y'all. Because they were in the water, and Godzilla, that's kind of like his home. So King Kong's like, well, I need like air to breathe, and I need to do this, and it's not born in the water. So maybe something like that
That
versus
actually
Godzilla,
would
I
be
think
kind of
would be
cool.
really cool.
Because Godzilla is good in water and land.
Hmm.
However, how does Godzilla, who's good in water, deal with a creature whose home is the
Yeah.
water, kind of a thing?
Yeah, exactly. I'm seeing also still a lot of comments about the wizards. I have where is it? Mickey Mouse and his broomsticks. Merlin will be
That's
a good
right.
wizard.
The sorcerer's, what is that called? The
Sorcerer
Sorcerer's
in Stone.
Apprentice.
Yeah.
The Sorcerer's Apprentice.
Yes.
So, and then yeah, you still have like historical wizards like Merlin.
Yeah. Absolutely.
That you can throw into that March Madness of wizardry.
Yeah, exactly. We have a couple more super chats to get to. We have from Juan Shari. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you so much.
Thank you. Juan writes, I play Overwatch and they have some amazing cinematics. Yes, they do.
They do.
That I love to see you guys react to. It's possible. Sometimes we hesitate on reacting to gameplay, if that's specifically what you're asking here.
I think for the cinematics, because I know
okay. If it's an
for
existing trailer, then yes, we can do it. But I think if we're watching another player's like playthrough,
Mhm.
then that's a little iffy because I have to reach out, ask for permission if they're okay with it. If they're not okay with it, then it's dead in the water.
Yeah.
So because we can always credit back, but I would have to like do the reach out and ask sort of a thing first. That's why we usually just do trailers and clips versus other people's like streams and things like that. So.
Yeah, and also, I mean, I remember when Overwatch first came out, and they had all of those different character cinematics that were releasing between the rivalries between different characters, and I loved the storyline that they put behind their characters. The animation was amazing, so good. I can't remember the character's name, but the one that's an archer / samurai.
That was in like the first. That was in the very beginning, right?
Oh yeah, yeah. But the one that he's going off against the android too. I'm sorry, I don't play Overwatch.
We haven't played Overwatch. We watch a lot of the streams, but we don't really play, so we're not as well versed in that category. But that's certainly something we can explore.
But I loved the character arcs. I loved the storylines, and I was just like, this is really cool. That this is how they kicked off this game. Was with these amazing cinematic scenes that they had put together for the characters.
I know that's what kind of caught our eyes, and we're like, what is this? But also with Overwatch, I am not the best at those type of games, which is why we haven't played. I'd rather watch it than play it, because I could easily, just because I'm not, there's so many players that are so good that it's really intimidating to kind of hop on and online and play against some of these people. So we prefer to watch, but either way, we could maybe pull some of the scenes like that's been revealed in the trailer, or playthroughs or something like that, and we could do a little bit of a reaction. We will talk about it amongst ourselves before we decide to do one. And then we have from Vanja. Thank you so much, Vanja. Vanja writes, Terminator RPG is coming out soon. Would you play that one? Oh, and could you make a video of you guys doing Taekwondo and Kata? Thanks. It's been a minute since. I'll answer the Taekwondo question first. It's been a hot minute since we've done Taekwondo. You can say literally at the minimal a year because of COVID. And they've done some online Zoom classes, but it's not the same because you don't have the master kind of helping you get into your correct form.
Mhm.
So it's like I think it goes here, but then it's a little bit harder, because you want to get your placement right and things like that.
We would definitely have
I
to take a big refresher course.
Yeah, I would need a refresher course before I make a video of us doing it, but also I don't I know Vancha wants to see us do martial arts, but I just don't feel like the rest of our audience is gonna tune in for something.
We can
Something
always
they're
try.
gonna be like, maybe I put it in Discord if
Yeah,
we
or
do
maybe
one.
something up on Instagram, like
Yeah,
on
I
Instagram.
don't exactly. I don't know if that's something that's gonna go. It's not a main channel type of a video, because there people are gonna be like, what's happening to this channel? Why is all of a sudden there is like Taekwondo?
Mhm.
Uh,
But the Terminator RPG,
yeah, that's interesting. I'm gonna do a quick Google real quick.
because that actually
Because
sounds a lot of fun to be
okay,
able to do.
are we talking about? I just did a quick. It's a Kickstarter, and it's a TTRPG, so tabletop role playing game based on the 1984 movie. And it's called. I think it's just called Terminator. It's created by Nightfall Games,
To be,
and
and also I'm kind of, anytime that there's like a new tabletop RPG game, I'm always curious on what is the system like, because
yeah,
there's so many I mean, the two biggest systems out there right now, of course, are like D&D, or Pathfinder,
Pathfinder,
Kids on Bikes,
Kids on
Kids on
Brooms,
Brooms, and there's
Starfinder.
well, Starfinder's part, I
It's
think, part
part of,
of
but it's the
Pathfinder.
system's still a little bit different.
Yes. And also the fact that there's also like Savage Lands or Savage World,
Savage World,
and which is apparently
Call of Cthulhu. Sorry, go ahead.
Call of Cthulhu. So I mean, I'm always curious on how they've designed their gaming structure, and what does it really focus on? Does it focus on more on combat? Does it focus more on role playing
Oh,
situations?
interesting. Okay, so just reading a little bit about the Terminator RPG, features the Nightfall Games S5S system, first seen in the SLA Industry Second Edition. So this is a D10 base rule system. At its core, the system uses a pool of dice, 1 success die and 5 skill die per player. The more skilled your character is in the task being attempted, the more likely you are to succeed, and succeed big. But I wonder if you fail, then you fail pretty much. That's interesting. That's certainly uh something we'd have to look into to see if we can get some players together and do a one shot, and who we want the DM to be, if it's going to be Dustin, because then you have to get really familiar with the source material,
Yes.
lay out the campaign, and then all the players would have to learn how to play the system. But I feel like if you know one system, if you're familiar with at least one system, it's kind of easy to adapt to another, because at the core of it all, it's role play. That's kind of, it's more than just
Yeah.
rolling dice. Like rolling dice is fun, but you gotta be able to roll with your result. Literally, you have to role play your results. So you don't always succeed, and you have to figure out how your character would react to that. So this
It looks fun though. I mean,
sets up for 5 players. We know 5 players.
oh yeah, we can definitely get 5 players together.
Interesting.
What, 290?
I think that's something else.
Oh, okay.
I don't want to be stuck on this
Uh,
topic for too long, because
Yeah, actually,
sorry, because then we could deep dive into this, and
Yeah.
I want to make sure we get to some of our other topics. But
Mhm.
Vansha, thank you for letting us know about the Terminator RPG. We didn't know about this, so we can look into it. And I think there's like a try before you buy PDF for the Terminator RPG, so we can at least look at that to see if that's something we'd be interested in, and getting the RPG. And we got some Terminator fans who
As
are as our friends. So
in our RPG here.
yeah. So we can, see if they would be interested. Everybody's a little busy right now. Everybody who we know
Everyone's
who
starting to get back
plays.
to work.
Yeah, everybody's a little busy. So we'll have to see if we have the time to be able to do this. But it's really interesting. It's an interesting read that we just did.
Yeah, these are some great topics that we've gotten for our super chats. But
yeah, I know.
now that I think we got all of the super chats done,
I think so.
are you ready to hop into our first topic of the day?
First topic of
Our first
the
little
day.
news flash of the day, and that is a Dark Crystal ballet. That's right. We're not going to be getting a Dark Crystal season 2 on Netflix, but we will be getting a Dark Crystal ballet from the Royal Opera House in London. They will be hosting an all-new original ballet called Dark Crystal, the Dark Crystal Odyssey, in their new 2021 season. It's going to be a new dance works that's going to be mainly focused on like a family audience, and it's going to be directed and choreographed by Wayne McGregor. And the reason why we really do know this is because a spokesman for the Jim Henson Company is saying that they are going to be providing the props and the costumes and all of the puppets for the ballet. And they said this is in 100% association with the Jim Henson Company. So it seems, I mean, it sounds like it's going to be legit. It sounds like it's going to be well, what does that called? Like they're going to have really
Produced.
well produced. That means they're going to have an opera company taking care of the choreography and the story. But we're still going to get what makes the Dark Crystal so memorable in our mind is the costumes, the props, the puppets. And I'm a little curious to see some gelflings doing ballet.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting to see the puppet artistry blend with the art of ballet. I mean, I feel like the setting itself, I would love to see Thrall come to life
Mm-hmm.
on the stage. I think the set design and everything, I don't think that's anything new for a ballet company and opera house. And that the fact that they are working with the Henson Company, it seems like a perfect collaboration because the set design and production should come together flawlessly. It's
Mm-hmm.
really, for me, I wonder in which way they're going to be able to tell the story because they're blending dancers with puppets, because I don't think we're going to see a gelfling do ballet. Maybe because the puppets they're not big, they're not human size.
No, normally
The
the puppets
Skeksis,
are about like half human size, I think.
right,
So I mean, like you can hold one like here, and it goes up to your head. So the puppets are
right.
like, you know, they're at least 3 feet.
So I think it could be a blend of humans as the elements, maybe, and then they can have the puppets on stage, with the puppeteers behind certain set pieces, so they can still puppeteer, and then potentially this is sounds like a lot of work because I think there's two puppeteers per Skeksis.
Oh, actually, I think there was more
Just
than that.
one.
There's
Well,
one
there's
that does the
one
walking, one that
inside.
does the arms, and like one that does the head.
Right. So I wonder how heavily they can involve the Skeksis because based on the article that we were reading, they're saying that this is going to be based on his the 1982 film. So it actually doesn't, while it's still within the world of Thra, it doesn't have anything to do with the characters that we know of, that we met in Age of Resistance, because that's a
Yeah.
prequel. So maybe it's mentioned, but if it's going to be based a little bit more on the 1982 film, then we will be seeing Jin and right
Yeah.
Jin and what's her name?
Oh my gosh, names
The
escape me. But yeah, we're going to be seeing those two characters.
Correct.
And also, I'm surprised
Do
that
you
they're
have
going to be.
something there?
Yeah, it's
Oh. Okay.
just a bug, and trust me, and sooner or later I'm just going to try and slap it. But honestly, I don't know how I'm excited about it being a ballet.
Mm,
If they were saying that this was just going to be like a stage show or even like a stage show musical with dance elements into it,
mhm.
I think that would be a lot more interesting and a lot more to be able to have like um the Dark Crystal on stage kind of a
Right.
thing, a
Right.
traveling show that goes around, and you get the puppets from Jim Henson, you got the sets, and you have the props all designed to be able to bring this world to life, because it kind of already is
Yeah.
when you watch the movies, when you watch when you watch the Netflix show, it's all practical effects. I mean, true, they do use green screen and stuff in certain spots, but I'm still kind of like, this would be cool as a stage production. And you can,
Kira is her name.
Kira,
Thank you, Marvin.
thank you so much. I'm just terrible with names. But yeah, to be a I think this is also a really good first step to kind of see if something like this would work. I just want to see more Dark Crystal properties out there. I want to
Yeah.
see, honestly, even if Netflix doesn't do the live action Dark Crystal, I
Meh.
would love for them to make, like, say, a CGI story going forward of the Gelflings, of the
Yeah.
Dark Crystal Age of Resistance. I want them to finish that story,
I
and I was
know.
so heartbroken and so bummed when they said it was canceled.
Yeah, it's kind of sad. Like I'm happy that they're expanding outside of television and film. I think theater is an interesting outlet, but would I buy a ticket to go and watch this ballet if it ever traveled, if it decided to do a tour? Yeah, I 100% would go and see it. I want to see the sets. I want to see the puppets, like, in real life on stage. I think that would be really cool to see. There's going to be definitely a lot of like hands on deck, like heavy production involved with the stage show, with all the puppetry and sets and dancing, and also to hear the music. I would see it, but and while I'm happy that they're doing a Dark Crystal ballet, I hope it's successful. I am still holding out hope that maybe one day someone else can come in and just say, hey, that show that you decided to not renew, why
We're
don't we
gonna do
take
it.
it? And yeah, I really, maybe one day, never say never when it comes to things like that.
But even though we're kind of heartbroken, I want to know about what you guys think about the Dark Crystal. Did you guys like the Age of Resistance that Netflix did? Because I actually know there's a lot of people who are kind of like, it's not really my thing.
But then it wasn't their thing to begin with, right?
Yeah.
Like they didn't love the 1982 film.
Yeah.
So, which is okay. Like I know for a lot of people, like, oh, because it's puppets, like it's not live action. It's kind of, it doesn't have humans in it. It's a little weird. Like, it's not for everyone, obviously. But at least they gave it a try.
Yeah, true.
That's all we can ask, really. Do we want to go ahead and move on to our next topic?
Next topic of the day.
Next topic of the day, theme parks, guys. So it's you get a theme park, you get a theme park, Disney gets a theme park, Universal gets a theme park, Sony gets a theme
has a
park.
new theme park opening in Thailand.
Yes, so the company has announced, this is in accordance to this is the Columbia Pictures Aquaverse, and this is going to be located, and I'm looking down my notes because I want to make sure I'm giving you guys all the right information. Located in the seaside city of Bangsarai. Bangsarai, I'm not sure, it's in Thailand, and it's expected to begin opening in October 2021. And the park is set to have a mixture of like rebranded rides as well as all new experiences. And there's going to be themed restaurants, obviously, retail stores, obviously, because what is a theme park experience without themed restaurants and merchandise? Like, I love going to the shops. I'm like, ooh, I really don't need more things, but that's cute, so I'll take that plushie with me. So this location was home to another water park that was owned by developer Amazon Falls Company Limited, and now it's going to be revamped to be the Aquaverse. And this is going to be split across 8 uniquely themed areas, and each area is going to be a popular Sony property. So there's going to be like thrill rides that will be located at the Men in Black thrill rides area, and that's like, I guess the main attraction in that land is going to be a 12-meter tall free fall ride. Those always look so fun, but those are always the ones I'm so afraid to go on because, and it's weird because I love, and I call this like the baby free fall, like what's the Guardians of the Galaxy Mission Breakout.
Mm-hmm.
It's essentially a free fall ride, or Tower of Terror if you want to go back in time, before they revamped it here at Disneyland. But it's not as tall as some of the rides, like say Knott's Berry Supreme Scream that was on like the Travel Channel, like that's, or the Doctor Doom one. What's the one right at?
Oh no, that's not Doctor Doom. It's the Lex Luthor Tower of Doom, or
sorry.
Doom Drop, or
the Doom Drop,
or something. Yeah,
Drop of Doom.
Drop of Doom.
I don't know. I might be making it up. It's at Six Flags Magic Mountain, but I'm afraid to go on that. Also, that one at Six Flags, because it's attached to the Superman the ride. When both rides are going simultaneously, when you're on the free fall ride, the tower sways a little bit from the, so it's not saying it's unsafe, it's just like if you're already anxious and nervous about going on the ride, and because you're so high up and they let you hang up there for a while, you're like, oh god, oh god, oh god, oh god. I think it's the anticipation. It's really not the fall, because you blink and you're over, you're back on the ground already. Like the fall, it's really not fast. The fall, it's the really slow ride up, the click, 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 click. And then you just hang out and you don't know when the ride operator is like hitting the button to release. So you're just like, ah! You like freak out. So that's going to be one of the rides. You can also ride the world's only fully enclosed water dome, and this is going to be in the Ghostbusters, the supernatural experience. That sounds like a lot of fun.
That one actually sounds really cool.
Sounds like so much fun. And then if you want like more like relaxing type of a vibe, there's a lazy river themed after Cloudy with the Chance of Meatballs at Swallow Falls River Adventure. And so that's kind of like a whole all ages, all family area. Like I imagine not all the kids can go on this free fall ride because it might be a little too scary for them. There's also other areas. So there's a Miami themed Bad Boys Raceway. I can see it calling Josh McCouga's name, right? He's like, he'd be riding in the car like, run or die, you know? So there's going to be a high-speed go-kart tracks. There's also going to be a Hotel Transylvania kid-friendly zone. And that's going to be the park's largest water attraction area with hundreds of features. And there's more thrill rides, including a Jumanji-themed ride. There's the Surf's Up in Surf's Paradise. Water slides. There is, what else? Vivo will be represented at the Vivo Wave Pool. This sounds like a lot of fun and a reason to go to Thailand.
Well, and also
for real.
I think for a lot of these ideas that they're throwing out there, it seems like they're just taking an old theme park and kind of just revamping it and retheming it.
Yeah.
And I've actually heard a couple comments from the chat that makes me go, oh, that would be really cool. It started off with Jack's comment saying that I'm just waiting for a Last of Us ride. That would be terrifying. And then I started to think, and then I'm starting to see more ideas of, I would love, Marvin put in there, I'd love a PlayStation themed theme park. And I'm like, that would have been an amazing direction to go with a Sony theme park, seeing how you have so many properties that are just hugely popular. For like The Last of Us, you have just so many games out there that would be great to kind of make a kind of like what they're doing in Universal for Nintendo Land.
Yeah.
So I when I first heard about this idea, I was kind of like, really?
But it's so different than the other theme parks.
That is true. It is a very much, they're trying to take it in their own direction, and they're like,
water theme park.
A water theme park. So, and I don't know how good water theme parks are going to do after, the pandemic.
Well, the article did state that they're going to slowly roll this out as Thailand is starting to kind of get into their vaccination cycle. So once that happens, and I feel like at first they're going to say like maybe, local residences only, like do not travel internationally to come to the park because pandemic is still definitely a thing, even though vaccines are rolling out. So, but that is definitely an area to really observe your safety protocols and see how you can make sure everybody stays safe when everybody's also sharing the same body of water.
True.
And it's like masks aren't gonna work
when you're in water.
That's not really gonna work, So yeah, we'll have to see. But I think rides would work. I think water attractions like water slides, lazy rivers, that may take a little bit longer for them to open. But if they open, kind of soft opening, testing out certain areas for just the thrill rides, you can sanitize the rides, you can limit your capacity. So I think areas like that could work, which is why I think it's kind of cool that they're blending both, physical like attraction rides and water attractions such as water slides and things like that. So they're not completely, cornered into this is all we can do, just water slides and lazy rivers.
So kind of start with that original idea, since they already have gotten a water park, and slowly expand out. I think that's actually, you're right, probably a really good way to kind of tackle this. Well, how does Sony get their clutches into the theme park business? But of course, starting that endeavor in 2019 probably wasn't the best of, business.
But no one knew it was going to be like this, 13, 14 months later, so... But, they continue to work on it, and there is light at the end of the tunnel here. And, it'll be before long where we can see people go to this ride and enjoy going on various rides like the Jumanji ride. I'm very curious about the Bad Boys ride. Yeah.
A Jumanji ride, I think that would be really cool.
A la Indiana Jones. And you just...
You can do and if it's a water theme park, you could kind of make it like a... Indiana Jones, but / kind of a Jungle Cruise, but make it more of like rapids where you actually will get wet and you're actually moving around. You have a tour guide that comes with you. Welcome to Jumanji. That would actually be really funny if the skipper was very much like one of those NPCs.
Oh, that'd be funny.
One of the NPCs.
That'd be great.
And anytime you ask them a certain question over and over again, they just give you the same response.
Yeah. That's hilarious. Hey, and before we get into the final topic, which is ironically still kind of theme park centered, there's a couple of comments that I want to get to before we before I lose them. So the View with Drew writes, did you hear that Dacre Montgomery might be the new Wolverine? If you don't know who Dacre
Ooh.
Montgomery is, he is first seen as the Red Ranger in the rebooted Power Ranger, the new Power Ranger movie. You've also will know him from Stranger Things season 3. Season 2, season 3.
No, I think it is season 3.
Season 3. So, and that's just a couple of things that he's done. That's interesting.
Actually, season 2 and season 3. Yeah, that's right.
Really?
He was the brother in the second season as well.
I just thought he was.
He just wasn't in as much.
Oh, I see.
And it was the third one that he was really
yeah. We love seeing that. Love that for him. I mean, that would be interesting. Who did we say we want to see as Wolverine? We hadn't really talked about. If we I feel like we have, but I don't remember any of my choices.
But I have to admit, I think we did bring up his name before.
I feel like we said Dacre, and I feel like we said Efron.
Yeah,
as well.
But also, I've always kind of called Dacre baby Zac Efron. Kind
very
of
similar features.
Very similar features.
Big blue eyes.
They both are, pretty good actors.
Yeah.
So I think both of them would be a good pick for a Wolverine reboot.
I in a way I love both of them, but I in a way want to see a new talent.
Me too.
As well, because there's so many unexplored talents, but I don't know. Honestly, it's still going to get me used to thinking of when I say Wolverine for the next whatever they cast, like whatever now Disney gets to do with that property, because it's theirs now, to not see Hugh Jackman in that role.
It's going to be weird.
It's going to be really weird, because I got so used to him being Wolverine that now I can't picture anybody else. It's hard.
I know. And also going back to the idea that technically Wolverine is supposed to be really short. He's supposed to be like 5'3", 5'4", I think, because they've always called him Runt, Small Fry. Sabretooth always made fun of him for being small. And I would actually love them to kind of get that back to his character, that he's that he's actually shorter than most people, and see how much that can actually evolve the character and how much it has in the new universe that they are building for the X-Men.
Yeah.
So I'm curious about that, if they can do that. But honestly, bottom line, and Hugh Jackman really just proved this, just get someone who can play the role well, even if they are taller, even if they're not quite the same build, maybe a little bit of different ethnicity, as long as you get like the best character of the best actor for the job, the ones who just can exude that character of Wolverine. I think that's just the best way to go, because I remember when they said Hugh Jackman, I was like, what?
Because he's so tall.
He's like 6.
And Wolverine's like what, 5'4"?
Yeah, he's super short.
He's short. So I remember I was like, well, I don't know about this. And then he played, I was like, oh yeah, okay.
Yeah. He was the best part of that movie, of all the movies.
Yes. And then a comment from Alex Flint. I think he had to leave because it was late for him, but he says, the movie couple, have you heard that the next episode, Falcon and the Winter Soldier, has a quote strong violence warning? And he said apparently there is set footage, which we haven't watched, of Cap hitting a man's head repeatedly with a shield. By Cap, I think maybe Alex means John Walker.
Yeah,
because that does not sound like a Steve Rogers type of a move.
You know what? And that would make sense, is the fact that there's something that John Walker experiences or has, like he just all of a sudden he snaps and just smashes that shield. That's probably how he gets the shield taken away from him.
If that happens.
And then they will change him from Captain America to US agent, and then give the shield, not give the shield up, but be kind of like, oh yeah.
I think the repercussion is probably somebody caught it on like a camera phone.
Yeah, and there's probably going to be that image of blood splatter across the Captain America shield, and there's going to be
speculation. We have not seen the footage.
Yeah,
nor are we going to look for it. But if that is the case, I'm not surprised that they would have to add a strong violence warning to it, because it is Disney Plus, and they want to make sure that they have their viewer discretion up top. So you kind of know what you're you're in for before you just dive into the episode. So any sort of trigger warning like excessive violence and anything like that, especially following all the tragedy that's been happening around the world lately with all the mass shooting and things like that. I think it makes sense to warn your audience before you go in, so they're not like, well, what the heck, I didn't know it was going to be like this. And like I had my kid of a certain age in the room watching, and I didn't want him to see. So I think it's a nice to give us a little heads up. But looking forward to seeing then tomorrow, early Friday morning, what this next episode is going to bring. Now I'm intrigued. I already am. I'm always excited for a new episode of Falcon and the Winter Soldier, but we can't wait, which means we're going to have a lot to talk about if this is indeed the case on Saturday stream. So make sure you guys tune back in on Saturday stream, same time, 2 p.m. PT on the channel, where we talk all spoilers for Falcon and the Winter Soldier. And then sort of going on to our final topic here. Oh, okay, here. Before we go in, there's a couple of fantasy casting for Wolverine. Let's see. Vanja says Scott Eastwood. The kid Vanja for Wolverine.
I would like to
Taron
nominate
Egerton,
myself.
Tom Hardy. Tom Hardy would be an interesting choice, huh? Ooh,
he does a really good gruff.
Ooh, Charlie Hunnam.
Ooh. That would be actually.
Ooh.
When he's like, oh, I like that.
Sorry. Taron Egerton is a really great one.
Yeah.
As well.
I
can actually see him as all great choices, you guys. All right. Final topic for the day, you guys. We have the Veloci. Go ahead.
We still have to talk. I mean, if you got, never mind. Go ahead.
No, you go.
Trailers. Did you want to talk about those?
That was last.
Okay, cool. Okay, so
I'm sorry.
So
two more.
This
I'm so sorry.
And then the last subject.
My brain's not working right today, you guys. I had McDonald's today, and I think that's what happened. You should not don't eat McDonald's food at 10:30 in the morning. Okay, sorry. So first we'll talk about the new VelociCoaster that is opening up at Universal Studios Orlando. July 10th. It looks like it's the opening date. I have a little photo here, and there's a video now out for the like a POV on the ride, and it looks absolutely insane. So this attraction is going to be at the Islands of Adventures, and this was designed by the award-winning Universal creative team in partnership with the acclaimed filmmakers from Universal Pictures and Emblem Entertainment. And of course, breathing new life into the whole Jurassic World story. And they're combining this ride. They're saying there's going to be epic thrills, popular characters from the franchise, jaw-dropping roller coaster maneuvers. And if you watch the video, it looks freaking insane. Like, it's one of the rides, I think, that also goes from like 0 to however fast speed, like that kind of shoots you out. And just watching the footage made me a little like, ooh, I feel like I need to take some like Dramamine or whatever. Dramamine. Sorry, before going on this ride, because it's like it shoots you out and then it twists and turns, and before you kind of go straight up and then you go straight back down. I'm like, oh, but also the POV kind of lets you see the whole park, so you get that moment of weightlessness and be like, oh my gosh, look at the before you feel like you want to die. Be like, let me out. I want off this ride.
This roller coaster, really does look exciting. I mean, and it just gives us another reason why we want to go to Universal Studios in Orlando, Florida. I mean, not only do they have, Harry Potter World and Diagon Alley that we've been dying to go see.
I want to hear USH get on that.
But this coaster looks like a lot of fun. It also looks like they have a lot of cool animatronics that you're going to race by really fast.
Yeah.
And not get the full appreciation of it because you're just screaming your head off. But it just looks like it's also a well-developed ride. It looks like it's going to be super intense, and with all the technology that's, that we now have at our disposal for roller coasters.
Oh, great. It all fits. So I think it was Amr. No, RMD asked if I can drop the link to the POV video. So I went ahead and did that in the chat if you want to grab it. Let me just see if it shows up okay. Yeah, I think so. I think you click on it, watch the video. It's on towards the end of the article there. Go ahead and read the article. A lot of insightful information if you want to find out more about the ride. And if we're planning to
Sorry, it just flew in my face.
You don't have to travel if you don't want to, Dustin.
Sorry. Don't worry. This next time I'll get the bug.
The bug was like, "Ooh, roller coasters? I don't want to talk about roller
I want to be in this
coasters."
conversation.
Yeah. So let me know what you guys think of the POV footage of the roller coaster. It looks completely insane. Would I go on it? Yes. Could I go on it only once? Probably. Probably also yes. Because my, what is it called? My stamina, my
Your roller coaster stamina.
ability to go on rides multiple times, thrill rides like this one, has diminished greatly over the years. Probably because I don't do it on a regular basis anymore. Like I remember when you and I worked at Six Flags Magic Mountain as stilt walkers, like once upon a time, summer, long time ago, 2010.
Yeah,
2009,
it's been probably about
20, I think
9 years.
Something like that, a long time ago. Like,
you guys would go on the roller
oh my
coasters
God,
over and
all
over.
the time.
You guys went on Goliath.
I was right
during
next
your
to
break.
Goliath, so I was. Oh, there's the bug. Oh my God, we have a third host today. There it is. I see you. Anyways, let's go ahead and move on to our final topic. So many trailers dropped today. I've linked 2 of them in our video description if you want to watch our reaction. And those are for Cruella and for Ghostbusters Afterlife. And Jupiter's Legacy will come out after the live stream is over because I haven't had the time to edit yet. But we got to talk about this Ghostbusters Afterlife.
Oh my gosh.
It's not really a trailer. It's more of a character reveal. I had no idea that they were going to put in miniature Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. First of all, so cute. I need it as a plushie on my keychain.
Oh yeah,
or something.
You know they're going to be doing a ton of merchandise with these little Stay Puft Marshmallow
It needs
Man.
to be edible. It needs to be edible. Little baby Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. They're so cute. But I also thought this 2 things. One, this trailer or clip is full of product placement. Hershey's, Baskin Robbins, you know, they always find out. And I thought that was hilarious. Paul Rudd
opening up
the fridge, and he was like, takes a pint and like walks out. And then before he encounters and it looks like he was at a Target. It looked like Target. It really did look like a Target to me, before he ran into the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. And it's funny that he took his finger and did this. And I was like, don't you remember? Because he's a big Ghostbusters fan in the movie. So the fact that he went, I was like, no. And it bit him.
It bit him. And so at first, when they first revealed the Stay Puffs, and the bag was moving and one births out a Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. And I was like, okay, this is kind of cute, but it got weird and sadistic really fast with the Stay Puft Marshmallows men roasting themselves. One of them was like melted on the grill. And then they're making the s'mores out of each other.
The chocolate was like a little warm blanket over the marshmallow.
And I'm sitting here going, I kind of hope that they have this dark humor throughout all of the movie, because making it a little bit more like disturbing does have a little bit of connecting themes to the original Ghostbusters. Because, there were some moments in the original Ghostbusters that were, one, very scary, especially for a kid that was my age at the time, but yet still funny at the same time. So I'm excited to see that they're kind of continuing this kind of comedy and this kind of humor throughout the entire movie. But I'm hoping that it's not just a gimmick, and I'm hoping that they didn't show us the best part of this character reveal, that there's still a lot more, that this is just very much a taste of what's going on.
Yeah, absolutely. And I also found it interesting, kind of thinking back to the clip now, no one else, like there were no background actors at all in this store. We heard one scream, and I wonder, it's like, doesn't that scream something that's highly sus, that there's no one else shopping? And just you, like what else is happening in the store? There's got to be more than just these Stay Puft Marshmallow guys running around, creating chaos from the store.
True. It's just, maybe that's the fact that Paul Rudd's character stumbled upon the Stay Puft Marshmallow characters because he was in that area in the store, and what the girl was screaming about was a completely different ghost or entity,
victim. We don't know. We haven't seen the movie yet, but
Slimers. You have like little Slimers popping up. We actually know Slimer is in it, because in one of the original trailers, they were chasing a Slimer in Ecto 1.
Oh my gosh. I cannot wait for this movie.
Me too.
It looks so good. Love the trailers so far. what else was I gonna say about this? I don't remember.
About him being the only one in the store.
No, I said that already. It's okay. I'll come back to it if my brain decides that it wants to work. But man, role playing is going to be a real fun tonight. My brain's already
Gonna get you some caffeine.
Not working. I do have caffeine. It's all here. It's on here. We should talk about also the Cruella trailer.
That
this is the second one.
A really fun
trailer. Much fun, so much bad. I love it. It's like baddie versus baddie in the fashion world, like super catty, super competitive. Emma Thompson as the Baroness is like almost the equivalent. We haven't seen the movie yet, so I can't really compare exactly to Meryl Streep's Devil Wears Prada. Like, I would love for these, and I know the timelines don't match up, and I said this in the reaction video, but if these two characters would meet, I would love to be a fly on the wall on their conversation. Like, who could outdo? I still feel like Meryl Streep would edge her out.
Yeah, well, it's Meryl Streep.
Correct.
I mean, I don't know how many times Meryl Streep has been nominated for an
50
Oscar.
50 million times.
She probably has the most Oscar nominations out of any actor ever.
Yeah.
Kind of a thing. But I would love to see that. I think that would be absolutely hysterical.
So much fun.
I love the fact that it really does seem like they're playing evil versus evil kind of thing. And it's just like, well, I'm going to do something evil. Well, I'll do something more evil. I'll do something even more evil.
I'll steal your jobs.
Oh, and yeah, she steals her Dalmatians.
Level 2 says she's been nominated 18. Holy crap.
18 times.
Oh gosh.
That's insane.
That is insane.
And she just has like a collection of them on her wall.
Yeah, really. That's crazy. Love her. But this trailer, I feel like we got even more context for the story, a little bit more background on Emma Stone's character before or as she starts to embrace, like herself as Cruella, and how the two characters meet, their interaction, and sort of also Stella's own experience working, in the fashion industry and having to deal with the I guess the evil interaction, toxic interactions with this Baroness, this fashion icon. So that's going to be really interesting. I'm loving the dialogue so far, and then mostly the fashion. I know there's going to they're already working on it for sure. All the merch, all the high fashion stuff that's going to come to release when the movie comes out, like whatever Her Universe might come out with, and Hot Topic, because they're licensees with Disney. So I think that's where we can look forward to that, amongst other things. Because this is so high fashion that I feel like they're going to collaborate with a lot of different brands for this, and I can't wait. Jack is saying the fire dress sequence. Yeah, that gave me all like the Mockingjay vibe, like transformation dress. Watch it happen. I'm gonna light my cloak on fire, and I'm gonna wear red to your black and white party.
I love where she held it for a little bit, and then she like waits until everyone sees. Drop. The
drama. I'm living for the drama. I'm having so much fun with this trailer. I really love it. Another trailer we really had a lot of fun watching, which we don't have the reaction out for yet, but we will, is Jupiter's Legacy. So this, and it's funny because you and I have been watching Invincible on Amazon Prime Video, which if you have Amazon Prime Video, you have access to this as a part of like the Amazon Prime package. Highly recommend, but do know that there is trigger warning here. There is graphic violence in it. So if you're not okay with that, be warned of that before you go in, just so you can prepare yourself. But if that's not really a big deal to you, watch away. It's a great story. And this kind of reminds me of that, because it's these superheroes, how they discover their powers. They came into power going after these powers on an island, and then years later, and this is almost like you can say passing of the torch / coming of age, and these kids of these superheroes living in their parents' shadow, and how that's affected them growing up, and will they pick up the mantle, and how will they deal with certain, like, are they righteous, or all this. It's so interesting, and I can't wait to watch. So make sure you guys tune into our reaction
I love this live stream. How much other superhero content we're getting, because for the longest time I thought it's like Marvel or DC, but we forget about all of these other little names that just don't get as much as much love and attention, and just to see more and more and more of that come out, to see these different views on superheroes, on the superhero genre, on what does it mean to be a superhero, and the breakdown of it, and to hear stories that we've never seen before, like what we got in Invincible, like what we're going, it looks like this Jupiter's Legacy is going to be somewhere along that lines, and I'm just excited to see just a new take on this.
Yeah, I can't wait. So just make sure you guys check that out, our reaction, when we put it up, which will be soon after this, maybe like half an hour to an hour, it'll be up. We have another super chat, probably the final one for the stream. So thank you so much to Amr for sending in the super chat. Amr writes, the new Ghostbuster trailer had a Stranger Things vibe to it and more darker than the previous reboot. I hope it's more scarier.
Same here.
Yeah,
I am right with you on that, man. The fact that that they go a little bit more of the Stranger Things, where it's a little bit creepier, that it's a little bit more scary, that it's a little bit more darker humor.
Yeah.
And try not to be kind of like your stereotypical kind of like 80s, 90s comedy that they were going on. Back then, Ghostbusters completely went in the opposite direction. We're like, we're not going to do that.
Mhm.
We're not going to follow the cookie cutter mold for a comedy movie with Bill Murray kind of a thing.
We can make it funny and dark at the same time.
Exactly.
And they did. And I will say, watching the original Ghostbuster movies growing up, there are definitely certain things that scared me for sure.
Oh,
I think I feel like I remember, is it the second one with the library with the giant, the lava,
yeah, that's the second one with the slime.
I feel like my dad showed me that. I remember that one a little bit more prominently. Either I was too young for the first one, so I don't remember as much until like later when I revisit. I was like, oh yeah. But even still, till today, I'll watch it, and certain scenes, even when I know they're coming, still kind of gives me a little bit like, well, that's creepy.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't really scare me where I need all the lights on in the house, but I definitely kind of like what you're saying and what Amr is saying. I do hope that there is a bit of even more of a horror element to it, than, or similar to what we got in the original films. Like, just bump it up a notch.
Well,
will be really great.
Scenes, one where Venkman gets slimed, but gets slimed by Slimer. The point where Dana Barrett is in her chair and those hands just
oh my god,
that part of the movie traumatized me when I was younger. But it was meant to be scary. It was a comedic, scary movie.
Mm-hmm.
And it feels like they're really going to go in that direction. And I have been so excited for Ghostbuster Afterlife.
I know. When is it coming out again? Because it was delayed, wasn't it?
It's been delayed and delayed. It's honestly, I think you're probably, if you're going to look it up, you're going to probably get
November 10th, 2021, maybe.
That
initially it was going to come out in July 8th, 2020. Well, that definitely didn't happen. I feel confident about the November 10th date.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that, and by then I think going to the theaters, assuming all the cases and stuff like that continues to stay down, that's very, very feasible.
Mm-hmm.
Because theaters have started to open and things like that. So I'm looking forward to it.
One more thing.
Yes,
there's a few more things in the chat that I want to point out because I thought they were great back at Cruella when who was it? Jack. Wait, was it Jack? Shoot, I can't find it. I can't find it anymore. But the fact that when she was doing that fight sequence, and she's like, "I'm doing this in heels," I loved that moment. I was, Jack mentioned the fight sequence, and someone else mentioned it and I'm doing this in heels.
Yeah, that's just great lines. Really a lot of fun. Soccer TL writes, who is the protagonist in Cruella? That's a great question.
Yeah, well, I guess it's going to be one of those things. We're going to have to find out.
Well, the protagonist would be her.
True.
So, but in a movie where it's bad versus bad, can you have an antagonist?
A protagonist.
And
protagonist is the good guy. Antagonist is the bad guy.
Right, but what I'm saying is can Cruella still be a protagonist even though she's quote unquote bad? It's still her movie. So then if that's the case, then do we have an antagonist?
Yeah.
That's what I'm trying to, or is it just the overall? That's interesting. I like that question a lot. Let's see if there's anything else before we go. I don't think I missed any other stuff.
I think we had some pretty good conversations in
Yeah,
this chat.
this was a lot of fun.
This was a lot of fun talking about
As
these
always, you
trailers.
guys. As always. Well, you guys, we're gonna go ahead and end this live stream because I have to get ready for the D&D live stream that is at 6 p.m. PT, so just 3 hours, so I can give my brain a little bit of a rest because couldn't find my words half the time through today's stream. So sorry about that. So maybe take a little nap or drink some water or something like that. And we will talk to you guys on Saturday. We'll be back to talk some movie topics, pop culture news topics, but definitely Falcon and the Winter Soldier spoiler talk. So make sure you are subscribed to the channel. If you haven't thumbs up this video already, please go ahead and do that. Show us some love if you enjoy the conversation and topics today. Really helps us out a lot on YouTube, the algorithm, and all that stuff. So,
and if you get a chance, comment your favorite topic in the comment section below. Was it talking about the trailers, the theme parks? We'd love to hear from you guys.
Yes, we do. So with that said, thank you all so much for hanging out with us today. We love you. We will see you on Saturday, maybe on tonight's stream on Twitch, 6 p.m. Again, the link for that is in the video of this, in the description of this video. And with that said, we'll say goodbye for now, and we'll talk to you very, very soon. Bye, guys.